Well, good afternoon and welcome to Tuesday's Tips with Michael live. And we're not just live on Facebook today. So we're coming to you from the StreamYard studio in my home office. This is our first day, our first Tuesday Tips. We're going to go live to LinkedIn. We're live on a couple of Facebook pages. One is my own and my personal profile page out on LinkedIn. So for those of you watching me live, wherever you're watching this live for the first time, I come to you every Tuesday, 12:30 or so. With one of my tips. And our tips are focused on either personal development, how to make yourself better, personal performance, all related to skill development. We also talk about team development. We do spend some time talking about how teams can work better together. And third, which is one of my favorites, is leadership development. How can I be a better leader or supervisor? And we spend some time talking about that. Right now, we're in our personal development. We've done this since January, hopefully working on your personal development as we go forward. And today's topic is all about delegation. And delegation in the new sense of delegation. Delegation in the old sense was the employee-boss relationship. But delegation today is a bit different. Delegation today is a bit different because people delegate sideways. And when we work with teams, people delegate to each other on the team. And there's a proper way to delegate and there's a wrong way to delegate. So we're going to give you some tips today on the proper way to delegate. The other thing delegation does as a leader or supervisor, it gives you a great opportunity to train an employee on a new skill. You delegate them something that they may not know how to do or haven't really done it that often. And through the delegation coaching process, you teach them a new skill. So it does give the employee an opportunity to learn something new. And as a leader supervisor, it does take something off your plate. Because if I can delegate 2 or 3 of my items that I'm doing every week to one of my direct reports, give them an opportunity to learn, that frees my time up to do the things that only I can do. And we work with leaders to ensuring they spend as much time as they can doing the things that only they can do and not what others can do. Definitely get those things off your plate that others can do. So I'm going to give you some steps here on proper delegation. So there are 6 steps, actually 7 steps, what we have for steps for effective delegation. First is think and plan first. Plan what you're about to delegate. Is it a growth opportunity for someone, or is it something that somebody else may need some training on before we actually do it? But think and plan first. What is the outcome you're really looking for when you delegate this task to somebody? Clarify the responsibilities and results intended. What does this look like when it's done? What does the project look like? What does the task look like when it's done? Select the right person. Selecting the right person is very, very important. And I would put a little DISC spin in there too. If you worked with DISC before, try to select the right person. If DISC is a possibility, keep that in mind as you select the right person. Decide on the authority level. And we're going to give you another thing to think about here shortly about the authority level. Am I in control of this task I just delegated, or does the person have the authority to make decisions in this task you just delegated? Decide on control and checkpoints. So you want the employee to check in along the way, but as I tell my clients I coach, don't hover. If you delegate something to somebody, don't hover around them while they're doing the work. Give them an opportunity to do this on their own, but set up some checkpoints along the way. Just check in, see how they're going. Create a motivating environment. I mean, you want the person to succeed, especially if this is something new for them they've never done before. So create a motivating environment. Don't let the stress of the situation take over the employee's brain, and hold them accountable. Again, depending on how you set up the level of authority, hold them accountable. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the general levels of authority. So when I delegate something to somebody, I'm giving them either intuitively or on purpose a level of authority, And these are the 8 levels we teach when we work with leaders on. So the first level is get the facts and I'll decide. And at this point, they're basically a gopher for you. They're not really doing anything that you can't do. Level 2 suggest alternatives and I'll decide. So really, they're not having that much of authority either there. Level 3 is recommend an alternative, but then you'll still decide. So again, the boss here, the person delegating, still has all the authority. Level 4 is decide, but wait for my approval. So here you're giving some authority away. Let the employee decide, but they still need your approval to do something. Level 5 is decide and act unless I say no. But again, the employee doesn't have all the authority because you still hold some of the control. But these next 3, you're starting to give up some of that control. So level 6 is act, report results. Level 7 is act, report if unsuccessful only. And the last one is act, but reporting not needed. And that's when you just delegate it and they're just going to get it done and they're going to do it properly and you're very confident about that. Now, depending on what you're about to delegate, you may have to choose one of these that's most appropriate for that particular situation. So those are my tips today on delegation. Delegate, delegate, delegate. Take things off your plate that you don't have to do personally, that others can do for you to free up your time to do other things that only you can do, and give those folks an opportunity to learn something new through proper delegation and proper coaching. That's my tip today. We'll see you next Tuesday, Tuesday Tips with Michael live, either Facebook or LinkedIn. Thanks for checking us out. Have a great week.